All right, I've tried this so many times. I'm still learning StreamYard here. Getting ready for our big event tomorrow with Dr. Mayfield, Dr. Klein, and Dr. Fiddler, where we answer student questions and anybody else who asks them. We're all faculty, so we open it up to our students. It's going to stream on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube again under Remnant's page. So it'll be under my YouTube page, Remnant Concert Collective's page, and on Remnant's LinkedIn page tomorrow. Today I'm on my LinkedIn page, my YouTube, and Remnant's YouTube. So if there are other videos that seem incomplete, here they are. First, I couldn't figure out how to share the screen correctly. Then I couldn't figure out how to share the sound. And then I hadn't hit live. And so I promise I'm not that technologically inept. It just takes me a little while to learn it. So today I want to talk about Epstein, Plaskett, and their well, not Epstein's because he's not with us anymore, but Plaskett and other politicians' lack of integrity and morality, basic morality. Now, this may seem like a political thing. I don't want it to be because there were Republicans that voted not to censure her as well. And so this is kind of a two-sided issue. It's really more of a politician problem than it is like a Democrat or a Republican problem. And it's also a problem with Western culture in general, because if you look at politics, you look at people who are famous, like Hollywood types, you look at athletes, you look at the whole gamut, maybe not athletes as much, but you see it with them. You find that they will fight to get power with everything they have, and they'll do even more to keep it. And that includes abandoning basic morality principles. That includes a number of things. And so I want to let this play. It's the interview with Plaskett. Let's see if I can make this baby go full screen. Yeah, all right. I kind of look like I know what I'm doing now. This is pretty great. And so we're going to let this play. It's about 8 minutes. We'll cut it off before the end because they start talking about other stuff. And then I'll make comment, and then I'm going to draw some conclusions at the end. All right, I'm going to draw some conclusions at the end and talk about things like being above reproach and things like that. So here we go.
All right. Well, we are just learning that the Senate has now sent over that legislation on releasing the Jeffrey Epstein files over to the president's desk. We're monitoring that. Also, you have, this ongoing Epstein saga, Wolf.
And there's a lot of drama still unfolding. The Epstein saga hasn't been without controversy for Democrats as well. The House last night narrowly rejected a Republican effort to censure our next.
You know what's funny about this? Like you say, I'm not trying to be political, but I know that CNN is more left leaning. And they almost look upset that they have to do this interview, which I could understand.
Guest, Democratic delegate Stacey Plaskett, over text she exchanged with Epstein during a 2019 congressional hearing with President Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen. 3 Republicans joined all Democrats to defeat the effort to remove her from the House Intelligence Committee, with another 3 voting present. Congressman Stacey Plaskett of the U.S. Virgin Islands is joining us right now. You're a delegate, a non-voting delegate right now. Tell us a little bit about your reaction to all these late.
Even that look on her face, because he said congressman. And then he said, you're a delegate, to correct himself, a non-voting delegate. And she looked upset that he'd even said that wrong.
Well, first I want to thank the Democrats, the Democratic caucus, not only for voting with me, but for speaking on my behalf during the general debate, as well as those members in the Republican Party who voted with the Democrats and those who tacitly voted with us by either voting present or not voting at all during the censure. And I'm hopeful that we can now get back to the work that we do in Congress rather than the political theater that has been happening.
Okay. 2 things. She says, let's move on, basically. There's nothing to see here. This is all just political theater. I am a victim. Okay.
The files have been released, which I have been in favor of all along. And let's let the victims get their justice and let us get to the work of Congress. We've been on over a 70-day paid time off. Democrats have
Let the victims get their justice as opposed to just justice in general, because justice looks different for everybody. And then we're all, the Republicans are off. You know, we've been on paid time off. Republicans have went home with no bird to be found. She's about to say it. And but they were home having town halls. They were talking to constituents. They'd been put on recess.
been doing town halls, coming back to Congress. Republicans have been nowhere in sight.
Yeah.
And the people of this country are in need of our support and of the work that needs to be done.
So why are we talking about this mumbo jumbo? The people need us to be working. Right? She's deflecting.
We know that Epstein had what, property in the Virgin Islands, right?
Yes.
What was your relationship with Epstein?
So Jeffrey Epstein was a constituent. He was a resident of the Virgin Islands.
It's just some guy I didn't know.
Lived there, I guess, more than half of the year because he was registered there. I had received donations from him after the last investigation came out, which was after this texting. I gave any donations that I had previously received from him to women's organizations and did not have any contact with him. But like many
Okay. I had no contact with him. I didn't really know him. He donated money. I gave it away. I'm pure as the wind-driven snow. I'm just a victim of political theater here. This is what she's saying.
constituents, individuals get your phone number. They text you about issues. They speak with you. I have spoken.
So she's saying he texted her about issues. He just happened to get her phone number. How many? Like, I know there's not a lot of people going to be watching this. This is my first real try at this. I've been trying to get this software to work. Finally got it to work. But like, nobody knows I'm doing this. I'm just kind of warming up for the thing tomorrow. And so she's basically saying this is just some guy. He happened to get my phone number. He donated to my campaign. I gave the money away to women's organizations, whatever that means exactly anymore, especially. And he just got my phone number. How many Congress people do you have their personal phone numbers to? Right. I know there's not a lot of people watching this right now, but there will be in the recording. How many people have their congressperson's phone number, let alone their personal cell phone number? You might know the office phone number or how to get it, but you don't have their personal phone number.
And with him about issues that are relevant, things that are going on in the Virgin Islands and elsewhere around the country.
Right, but on that day that we're talking about,
She's going to give her a chance to correct this because her answer is not good.
you initiated the text exchange at 7.
Oh, so he wasn't just some guy that happened to get your personal cell phone number. You texted him at 7:55
in the morning. So why were you even texting with Epstein at the time? He was a known sex offender then.
Sure.
And he wasn't just some guy who happened to donate. He was a known sex offender, had your phone number, and you texted him first.
I explained to people, I've been a prosecutor for many years. And there are a lot of people who have information that are not your friends, that you use to get information to get at the truth. This was 7 years ago.
Well, you have a lot of people around that are not your friends that you use to get at the truth. Okay.
And people need to understand that this was a huge hearing that was taking place.
This is not just somebody's Jeffrey Epstein. I've heard other commentators say, I haven't been able to find a full script. They say in the full script that he was complimenting her on her appearance, and she was saying, okay, I'm not okay, but thank you very much. And they were going back and forth in a very friendly manner. It didn't sound like just some guy from the Virgin Islands.
Michael Cohen finally coming forward to talk about monies that he had with the potential hush money that had been paid to Stormy Daniels to keep her quiet about the allegations against Trump. We were entering a hearing. Lots of people were texting me. Lots of people were giving me information.
So he's just one pedophile among many. I mean, this is again, I'm not trying to be political, but he's just, they're making that she's not taking any responsibility yet. Now just wait, she give you several excuses here.
And I find it really interesting and almost rich that the Washington Post took 30 seconds, one set of question line that I did, and say that Epstein was directing me as to what to question Michael Cohen. I have 5 minutes of questioning. I had a lot of questions, 20 years of experience that I had at the time, along with other information I was getting from many sources about issues that should have been raised. And I also want to say that the issues that I raised in that hearing related to individuals who were closest to the president and who could know about money has never been looked into.
Right. And we have the full transcript right here. But,
she's going to give her another chance here, folks. She's going to give her another chance.
No doubt you have an impressive resume, right? You're a former federal prosecutor. You were an impeachment manager. But yes or no, if Epstein had not brought up Rona to you in that text, would you have asked Michael?
It's just some guy that texted me, even though I texted him. But would you have asked that specific question? And the other thing was, and he wasn't telling me what to ask. But would you have asked that question if he hadn't said it?
Cohen about her independently?
Probably not. I asked about 3 other individuals.
Oh, but I asked other people too to tell me their questions. You have a whole staff. You're a delegate, representative of the people. You can't come up with your own questions, do your own research without having to take their questions word for word?
As well. Everyone knew, other people knew that this woman had been the president's assistant. I talked about other individuals who were also close to him that other people had given me information about, that I'd found other information about. And there were other issues that I talked with him about as well, Michael Cohen, that I brought up during that time.
Right.
So as a prosecutor,
I'm a prosecutor, I'm pure as the wind-driven snow. This is Trump's fault. This is Epstein's fault. This is political theater. I have no responsibility.
An investigator, you glean information, get information where you can. Some of it is relevant, some of it is not, and you put it all together and you ask the questions.
And I understand you're saying, look, he was a
And you put it all together and he was just one little piece. Just one little teeny piece who happened to text me and compliment me on my appearance that day. He's also one little teeny piece that was a known pedophile and ran a prostitution ring and had allegedly blackmail over several very powerful people in the country. But, I'm just a victim of political theater.
Constituent, right? And whether or not they're good or bad, you're just trying to get information to get to the truth. But at this time, this was happening after he had already pleaded guilty to state prostitution charges. And then there was that Miami Herald article that came out in 2018 detailing how widespread the sexual abuse was. And
Right. It wasn't just a little prostitution ring. If there's any kind of level of this kind of evil, there was a giant prostitution ring.
Interviewing 80 women who said that he sexually abused her. So, abused them, I should say. So I'm wondering.
It's just a guy who sexually abused 80 people. It just happens to be somebody I trust enough to help me ask questions.
As you look back, do you think that it was an error in judgment to be communicating with him at all?
Oh, it's a perfect chance. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that with hindsight 2020. It was really pretty stupid of me. Maybe I should have made a better decision. Next time, I'll get it right. I won't associate with known pedophiles who've been accused of raping 80 women. Land.
Do you have any regrets?
Well, listen, I think Jeffrey Epstein is a reprehensible person.
See? Trump's bad. Political theater, Democrats playing games. And now Epstein's a monster. I'm just a victim. I mean, Epstein is a monster. Like, I'm not mocking that part of the statement, but it's that she keeps deflecting off of herself.
Person. Absolutely disgusting. I lived in a house during childhood with a mother who had been sexually abused by her dad. And I know the effect that had on her, as well as us as her family. And so I understand what the victims are going.
Right. Okay. So we have now Republicans playing games, political theater, Trump's bad. I'm a prosecutor, pure as a wind-driven snow, but I had to sully myself just a little bit to get answers from people who are criminals. Epstein's a monster. That's true. I was born into a house with a mother who was sexually abused by her own father, so I know what that's like. I have personal experience. Okay, that could be true too, and that's a valid thing. Trauma is real. It affects us. It affects our bodies. It affects the way we respond to things or react in those cases. But still, it's all just used as a deflection. And so you look at it and you go, ooh, I don't feel really good about the way she's answering these questions. It's because she just needs to take responsibility. They give her like 6 chances in this video.
Going through, and I want them to get their their justice, their peace.
Their relevant justice and peace. What does that mean? It's like post modern. There's no meaning to anything in that sense.
Out of this.
Out of this. What is this? What is this? The Epstein file release, perhaps?
I believe that Jeffrey Epstein had information, and I was going to get information to get at the truth.
Jeffrey Epstein's had information about Trump and stuff I'm reading and stuff I'm listening to lately. Some of the stuff that kind of made me sick. There was other stuff in it, but part of it was Epstein had a vendetta out against Trump. He hated Trump. Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. There's this other thing about the one gal who they say committed suicide on her farm and under really peculiar circumstances. And Epstein had taken her, was the term I used. I'm not sure what that means, from Mar-a-Lago into his own fold. I don't know what else to call it. And because of a lot of these different things, Epstein hated Trump and wanted to sabotage him is kind of what they're talking about. I haven't been able to verify any of that yet.
Having a friendship with him.
Do you have any regrets? She asks it again.
Is not something that I would deem to have.
I'll wait for this.
And so I'm just looking forward. I'm moving forward. And I think
I'm moving forward. And she's about to say, and I think the American people are going to move forward too, meaning nothing to see here. I didn't do anything wrong. Let's move on. You should move on. I'm going to move on. We're all going to move on and act like I didn't do anything. And nobody's going to hold me accountable.
But that's what we as American people should do.
We as American people. I don't understand how citizenship works in like Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. They're not specifically states. Are they officially American citizens, or is there like some other kind of citizenship? I don't know that answer. But she said, we as the American people.
Move forward. If individuals are not involved in illegal activity, extending his criminal enterprise or his financial enterprise or all of those things.
I was not involved in the extending of his financial enterprise or his prostitution ring directly, so we should just move on and forget
things. I think that we need to look at what people are doing moving forward.
Wait, let me just better understand that. What is that point? Because at the time he was a known sex offender and it had been detailed all the sexual abuse.
There are a lot of people who have
one more time.
What people are doing moving forward.
Wait, let me just better understand.
Wait, nobody understands what you're saying because it's all political gobbledygook speech. Normal people don't talk like this. Of course, I mean, news people on these national networks don't talk like normal people always either.
Understand that. What is that point? Because at the time he was a known sex offender and it had been detailed all the sexual abuse.
There are a lot of people who have done a lot of crimes, and as a prosecutor,
a lot of people have done a lot of crimes, even like like robbery, assault, parking tickets, speeding tickets, raping 80 people, running giant prostitution rings. Just, people do things. It's, you run across criminals.
You get information from people where you can. I've interviewed confidential.
I can't even. It's like, just take some responsibility. You made a bad choice. You're morally inept. Just say it.
Informants. I've interviewed narcotics, drug traffickers, and others. And that doesn't mean that I'm their friend. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that they.
Yes, but you texted him at 7:55 in the morning and he complimented you on your dress and you were good with it. How many of those narcotics ring folks did that and you were like, which I don't know the actual context of that, but I'm making some assumptions there. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
They are friendly with me. It means that they have information that I need and that I'm trying to get at the truth. And that's what I did.
So no regrets, basically, is what you're saying.
I'm moving forward.
No, wait, back up. I'm going to make this bigger here.
Confidential informants. I've interviewed narcotics, drug traffickers, and that I'm trying to get at the truth. And that's what I did.
So no regrets, basically.
Okay, I want to show you the face. I got to get down here to my control panel. I got to show you show you her face. Look at the face. So no regrets. She's asked her 4 or 5 times. It's not going to play. Well, come on.
Basically, is what you're saying.
She nodded. No regrets. And
I'm moving forward.
I'm moving
But
forward,
before
folks. I'm moving forward. Okay. And now they go on to other topics. So let me get myself back up here on the screen. And there we go. And I want to go full screen. And there I am again. Okay. So the idea here is you can associate with a known prostitution ring person. You can text them at 7:55 in the morning. You can accept compliments and be okay with it and give the impression that there are other things going on here as well, which, they don't have any proof of that. I'm not an investigative journalist. I'm a professor. And so I don't actually know, but you sure can infer some things from this and want to have, or you have some more questions. Maybe that's the best way to say it. You have new questions. You want to go, okay, what does that mean? What does this mean? What was she actually doing with it? We know money is laundered to the Virgin Islands. Did anything go on with that? I'm not accusing her of it. I just want to know. And the only conclusions I can come to is just like, no matter what happened, no matter who's involved with this, those 3 Republicans that voted in the deal, that's the other part of this. They voted in the deal to protect their own guy from charges or accusations going public and being censured himself. And so she got away with this stuff. And then the 3 that didn't vote, I don't even know who their names are. None of them just cared. None of them cared. They were all protecting their own power. So I said it earlier, I'll say it again. People seek after power, influence, and money because they can control their people. They can do whatever they want. They can get the things they want. They can treat other people like objects. And then once they have power, they're even more likely, it seems like, at least in my experience, what I've seen in 18 years of therapy and another 13 years of professoring, they do whatever they have to do, no matter who they have to step on or whatever they have to break or how many girls they have to violate. I'm not accusing her of this. Like, I'm thinking of Epstein in that case. They don't care. They just want their power. They want their control. They want to be able to lord it over other people. They're all a bunch of mini kings at a no kings protest. I'm not making comment as to the validity of that necessarily. It's just mind-numbing how you can get asked 7 or 8 times, don't you have some responsibility in this? Don't you think you should at least say you should have done things differently? And then look at you fighting straight in the eye and go, no regrets. Paul wrote about us needing to be above reproach in the New Testament. This idea that we should be above accusation, that even when people accuse us, it's so ridiculous because our integrity, our righteousness is at such a high level that people will just laugh it off. But he would never, she would never. These people are leaders of estates, of whole sections of cities, of counties, of representative one person for thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. And they think they can get away with whatever they want. They have no integrity. They have no integrity. I love Jesus. I follow Jesus, they say. And then they turn around and they do the exact opposite. Now, nobody's perfect. We're not all righteous. No, not one, right? And the idea here is we all make mistakes and we all fall, but we should not all presume to be teachers, dear brothers, because we're held to a higher standard. We should not all be elders. We should not all be pastors. We should not all be leaders. We should not all be teachers. We should not all be in positions of authority if we do not have the internal workings to handle both the power and the authority and the responsibility. These people, I would be hard-pressed to find any, it seems like on some days, that can handle the authority with grace and dignity and treat their constituents with some kind of respect as opposed to idiots who don't know anything. And I teach in a program of 1,700 students, depending on the time of year, it fluctuates. It grows. And I teach my students all the time, gain the internal integrity Spend time at the feet of Jesus. Spend time praying. Spend time in silence and solitude. Spend time in study. Spend time in biblical meditation to refine your inner life to the point where you are Christ-like. And if you are not, you're becoming more so on a regular basis. Maybe there should be a rule for these politicians that like you have to do this 4 hours a week because the integrity is just gone. So when Paul says, live your lives above reproach, Paul means live your lives above reproach so they can't even accuse you with any kind of accuracy or influence. So people just laugh them off as it's impossible. This person loves Jesus too much. We say we're not different than the rest of the world. This has to be different, or we defame him, and our lives deny him. May we be a part of reinstituting and reintegrating integrity into our society. May we be out front. May we sacrifice when necessary. May we lead. May we show the way. All right, folks. Cool. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. Those of you who actually get this far, we'll give it a like and subscribe if you would. I'm going to end this stream in just a moment, but I want to say, tomorrow, if you haven't seen this, which is November 25th, Dr. Mayfield, Mark Mayfield, Dr. Brian Fiddler, Dr. Jeff Klein, and I are going to be answering some of our students' questions. We're all professors and some professionals that have sent us questions too on the field of counseling and psychology and the integration of theology with it, or reintegration, as I like to say. I'm still learning to say that term. We'll see you next time.